नमस्कारू यूथ ऑफ GSP वर्ल्ड वायड पळयता अशा सक्कड वीक्षकांकय मोगान स्वागत. एक सन हळ्ळीन तूं जावन तै होड जावन थंय लगून अमेरिका तसले एक व्हड देशा वचून थंय साधन करचें म्हणटनाची आमकां त्या एक व्हड विशय म्हूण दिसता. आनी केलो पण तुमी आयकून अशा परोची केलो चेडूं तोंडान तूं सिल्वर ना गोल्ड स्पून दवरनू जाल्लीची तशें हांव तांकां खंयचें एक साधन करता तें सुलभ जाल्लें म्हण आयकताचें. जाल्यार केलो जन चेडूं तांणी पांय जेवणाक आसकी ना म्हणचे एक विचार येताना तसल परिस्थिती लागून आज कितलींय जनाक तांणीची जेवण घालता तसले कॅपेसिटीक ना एक सामर्थ्य पावताची म्हणटाना त्यावें एक व्हड विशय. आनी स्कॉलरशीप म्हाका मेळ्ळारी हांव चंदकोन शिकतशिलो म्हूण धरला विचार लागून एक 4 चेडूं म्हाका स्कॉलरशीप दिवची लेवला पावचेच पळय. ह्या पुरा एक मनशाल्या जिवनांत तूं ना तागेले एक कॅरियरान तूं जगता म्हूण जाल्यार त्या मनशाक आमी केन्नी एक व्हड सॅल्यूट ना हॅट्स ऑफ करपाची. कसं म्हळ्यार तांणी निजा जावन आमगेल्या समाजांत तूं एक आदर्श ना रोल मॉडेल म्हणटाची तसले एक रोल मॉडेल आनी आमगेल्या GSP समाजाच्या एक स्टार म्हणत तांकां जी हांव ह्या पॉडकास्टान तुमगेले मुखार घेवन आयला तांगेलें नांव डॉक्टर कृष्ण शेणे. शेणे माम नमस्कार.
नमस्कार.
तुमकां स्टार म्हणटाना म्हाका तांचो कसलेय डावट ना शेणे माम. कसलें म्हळ्यार तुमचे इन रियल सेन्स तुमी स्टाराची. कसलें म्हळ्यार ते तुमगेले एक जिवनाची एक काणी आयकतना सुरवेळ म्हणल्यार खंय ते म्हळ्यार सन हळ्ळी कडपाडीन तुमी जेताना थंय लागून आज तुमगेले एक सफर खंयताय म्हळ्यार अमेरिका थंय पावला म्हणटाना तुमकां त्या हळ्ळीन तूं जल्ला तेन्नाचे कुडकास काडटना कशें आशिल्लें शेणे माम त्या गांव आसा पुरो ते परिसर आसा पुरो.
वय हांव म्हळ्यार म्हगेले आनम्माक 10 जण चेडूं आशिल्लीं ती हांव जेतना हांव लास्ट. Actually they had 14 children but 4 died after birth.
That time तशीच केन्ना
because of I don't know what is the reason but I was the youngest but we grew up in dire poverty and we amka tashi kasale pura na ashile ani megele anna akka pura school avaran vachak jaini te kasta mukantar. I was also in the same situation but I was determined myself to get the education and then succeed in my career. I was more career oriented and so I happened to be lucky, I would say, and that's how it happened for me.
म्हळ्यार शेणे माम तुमी त्या वेळेर म्हाका म्हणटाना म्हाका एक आश्चर्य जालें. म्हळ्यार जेवणाक एक कश्ट आशिल्ला म्हण तुमी म्हणलें सान आसतना म्हळ्यार पांय आमकां पोटभर जेवण मेळटा की ना म्हणजे एक त्या परिस्थिती आमी पळयला म्हण म्हणलें तुमी सान आसतना. तुमी त्या टायमांत आलोचना करतना तुमकां कसं दिसता आशिल्लें एक गोल दवर जाता आशिल्लें म्हाका हांव खंयचे एक एम दवरून वाडलो जाता म्हण दिसता आशिल्लें की ना टफ टायम तें कशें आशिल्लें.
कसं म्हळ्यार हांव आमी सान आसतना आमगेले grade 1 through 7 एलिमेंटरी स्कूल म्हणटा आशिल्लें ताका. तें एक स्कूल आशिल्लें एलिमेंटरी स्कूल कन्नडा मिडियम SVS एलिमेंटरी स्कूल इन Katapadi. I was not a good student because of this difficult situation and I would say I was maybe in the bottom 25% in the class. So I didn't think that I was ever going to go into even to high school and let alone go college and beyond.
Oh, the sapana ashiltana dream.
Yeah, but then I lost my father when I was only 10 years old, and that incident sort of opened up my eyes. Then 8th grade to 10th grade we go to another school, same SVS school but it's SVS high school, which is only like a few hundred meters away from the old school. But that, I don't know what happened, to be honest with you, but those were the early days where people were talking about computers and new technology. I happened to read that in the newspapers. Then I realized that if I did not go to school and be a good student, then I would have a very difficult life ahead of me. So my house was about 1.5 miles from the school, and we were, in those days we didn't even have money to buy sandals. I mean, it was all barefoot. We used to walk, we used to run because there was not much time to come back morning, eat lunch and go back. So 4 times we would travel 1.5 miles, but mostly walking or running, and barefoot on the tar road or red stone. It is hot. So in that kind of and we'll be sweating, and in that kind of, I still remember that, and I woke up and I said, okay, I want to be somebody. This poverty is not going to hold me back. So if I do well in my studies, then I'm sure there are opportunities. I should not worry about financial situation. I should not worry about food or any of that. But yeah, food was very difficult for us. So I happened to focus all my energy onto studies, and didn't bother about anything. My goal was to get into this emerging computer field, and then see what happens. And luckily, I worked hard 8th, 9th, 10th grade. In those days, we were about 10 to 15 people in the house. We had a very, very small house, open door, no doors also, just 2 rooms. We were literally sleeping 5 to 8 people in one room. And it was very insecure in the night. You don't know what's happening. And we were studying in the kerosene lamp. I didn't have electricity, none of that.
Roadside and light amula besun
I sometime I would go and study under the light on the road, and sometime I would be climbing the trees during daytime because it's too noisy at home to study. And sometime, actually in the 8th, 9th, 10th, I went to my relative's house. They had a bigger house upstairs, and I would go and stay upstairs. Luckily, they allowed me to do that. I would go my father's brother's house. So 3 years I really worked hard, but my mind was focused on getting into this computer area. And what really changed my life was I succeeded in getting the 15th rank in the state in the SSLC examination, and suddenly everything opened up for me. That was a stepping stone. And for this studies, grade I would say 5 to 10, I raised little money. I was very fortunate to get some scholarship from Amembal Subbarao Memorial Fund here. It's called ASRP Memorial Fund. It is still very active. And then also Kudwa Foundation, and then the Chennai GSB Samaj. These 3 places I was successful in getting some money, which was enough for me to buy books, some clothes and things like that. And then once I entered the high school and then got the 15th rank, everything changed because I started getting the National Merit Scholarship, which is a good amount, much more than any of these other funds. Then I went to MGM College, Udupi, and I was also very fortunate to get the 3rd rank in 2nd year PUC in the state. And I was then fortunate. Again, luck played a big role in me, but it was not just the luck. It's a very hard work, focused work, and it's the drive. I think the most important thing is the drive. Everybody should have a goal and drive. Nothing should stop you. I had the drive to succeed in this field because this field was just emerging. I was fascinated by this field. So then IIT Madras offered me direct admission. I mean, normally it's very difficult to get into IITs. So I was fortunate to get into IIT Madras, that too in electronics, which is very difficult to get into. And then I did very well in IIT Madras. And like most of the students, I went abroad to the United States. And but this period, when I was in Katapadi, studying from grade 1 through 10, and then MGM college for 2-year PUC, that's probably the hardest time for me. And when I was in the MGM college PUC, first year I lost my brother also, who was in military. So that was another shock. So I lost my father, I lost my brother, and it was extremely difficult, but those were the formative days in my career, and I will never regret it. That hard work, the focus and drive really made me who I am today.
तुमकां कसं केला रे तांचो नंबर 1 येवका म्हणजे एक सपन आशिल्लें शेणे माम ते केन्ना ते सपन तुमकां तुमी पळयलें तुमकां ते गोल केन्ना सेट केलें तुमी इतलो हांव कसो जाल्यार हांव नंबर 1 येवका म्हणजे तुमी ते कसली कोरता म्हणजे एक भूक आशिल्ली भितर तें मुख्य एक मनशाक केन्नाय आमकां आरामेर आनंद पुरा दिवन आसतना आमी करच्यांत काय व्हड विशय ना जाल्यार कसलेंय नासतना नथींग म्हणटा पळय थंय लागून तुमी एवरीथींग म्हणटा पळय थंय पावतना ते केन्ना त्या दीस तुमकां ते दिसलें हांव एक नंबर 1 जावका म्हणून
वय तें म्हाका once I decided 8th grade when I went from SVS elementary school to SVS high school 8th grade, I had decided that I was going to get into the computer area. Didn't know what computer area is very big. You can be hardware, means making components, or software, which is writing computer program. I was not sure, and then computer programming I was not very fascinated by that, but this chip technology, semiconductor chip technology, what really attracted me, and it's really based on a lot of science and technology, which is what I was excited about, and this was during the early stages of Silicon Valley in California. And I had decided that I was going to go to Silicon Valley and I was going to be the number 1 in this area, whatever it takes, and make a big impact in this area. And I think it started, my dream started maybe in the 8th grade in SVS High School. But it takes many years. You have to plan how to do it. And so
आनी क्षण मॅम तुमकां नोबल प्रायज विनर्स तांगेलोट काम करता एक अवकाश मेळ्ळा आनी कोण कोण की तुमकां आपयलाची आमगेलोट काम कराची आमगेलोट ओट्टू जावन कसले कोरया म्हूण जाल्यार तुमी ते वचनीची म्हणजे कसं म्हणजे तुमगे ड्रीम खंयचे विंगड आशिल्ले की मॅम ना कसं लायक तुमी हॉड ऑपॉर्च्युनिटीज पर मेळटाना ते कशी घेतले तुमकां ते कशी एक ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी ओपन कशी जाले अमेरिकान तुपुरा
that is another story, but one of my professors at Stanford, he was a Nobel laureate. He was the inventor of transistor, William Shockley, who is probably one of the greatest scientists of 20th century. And he invented transistor, which is the basis for all the electronics today, chips and electronics. And he was one of my professors. So I happened to be associated with him. Then also when I was at Stanford, we had opportunity to be in classes, lectures from many Nobel laureates, not just one. My neighbors were Nobel laureates. Every day I would run into one Nobel laureate. So that sort of inspires you. When I go to library, I'll be next to another Nobel laureate. In physics, I can give you names. There were about 15 of them. Also, in those days, this was just the early stages of the Silicon Valley. People were coming to Stanford to pick brain. We used to call them pick brain. They will try to find a good student to hire them, try to convince them to drop out of school and be part of the startup culture, startup company. And
the late 60s scheme.
And this was, I would say, no. I was at Stanford between 1983 and 86. Okay. This was the early stages of the chip technology, And I was approached by many people, including Steve Jobs for Apple, and Vinod Khosla for Sun Microsystems. Okay. Many people, and but I really didn't want to be part of these startup culture in those days. I was more focused on doing some scientific work. My aim was to do outstanding science and do some great innovation that will change the world. So I was more focused on science and technology than making quick money. It's a different approach in life. Even today, I'm not interested in money. So throughout my career, I focused on developing new science, new technology, and changing the world.
Then money will follow you.
Money will, how much money you can use.
Correct.
I have enough money to have a good life, and I don't need much more money. You can be Bill Gates, you can have enough to enjoy like Bill Gates.
Correct.
So it doesn't make any difference to me.
म्हळ्यार तुमकां स्वंता करता म्हूण तेन्ना मन आशिल्लें की शेणमम त्या पॉयंट न्हू.
No, I really wanted to do some basic science, big breakthroughs, new concepts, and do innovations and change the world. My goal was that, than to just go make a product and make money and do a startup company. A lot of people have gone into startup culture. Later in my career, I did that, but not in the beginning.
Okay.
So later I founded my own companies. I did startups. I did several startups, but that was later in the career, not at the beginning.
Okay. तेन्ना तुमकां तितूंत व्हड जाणां प्राप्यताना शेणमम कामाक तुमगे तांगेलो येयाची तांगेले कंपनीक काम करायची म्हूण तुमी वच्चे न्हीची विंगडान म्हणलें की कसं मारे कोण आपयताना जाल्यार वता आशिल्ले तुमी तूं कसं जाल्यार वच्चे न्ही म्हूण तुमगेले कलिग्स फ्रेंड्स स्टुडंट्स तांणी काय तुमकां म्हणलें की तुमी.
Yeah, I mean, lot of people, there was a lot of pressure because this was very attractive. But again, my focus, I had only one goal, to be one of the best in my field and make a big major impact in the field as a scientist and engineer more than make money. Okay?
Correct.
So I did not want to deviate from that culture.
म्हळ्यार आमी कामा वयर मन दिल्यार आमकां देवालो आशिर्वाद केन्नाय आसता आमकां दुड्ड कशी येता म्हूण एक विचार अशें तशें आसतना तुमी जाल्यार तुमगेलें नांवार मस्त पेटंट आसा म्हूण हांव आयकल्लें आसा तुमगेलें ते एचिवमेंट पळयतनाची मस्त एक नमन्याची आमकां उमेद येता इतलें करूं जाता तुवें म्हणचें तशें त्या बरें खंय लागून सुरू जालें शेणें माम
ते स्टार्ट जालें ते actually from Stanford University. Because Stanford University, see, I was at IIT Madras, I did not apply. I was invited by IIT Madras to come and join. Because I got the third rank in Karnataka State.
Free admission.
Yeah.
And to me, both approved and approved.
Yeah. And in those days, it used to be called direct admission. I never wrote any exams. Then same thing happened in Stanford. Stanford by the time I remember I got my master's in 1981 from University of Maryland College Park. By that time I had already written some breakthrough papers, and then I worked through 3 years in a company developing satellite technology. And by that time people have already started recognizing me as a potential talent. And few of the Stanford professors came to know about me, and one of them called me and said, are you interested in coming and joining my group, and I want you to start a new area of research. But again, in those days you could do that because I already had masters, and my professor called me and he said, come on in. I said, I have not even applied. He said, don't worry, I'll take care of it. So within 3 weeks I packed my things, I quit my job, and I was also married at that time. I quit my jobs and left for Stanford, because Stanford was my dream all the way from India. I mean, Stanford is the holy grail for engineering, and that too for semiconductor technology, and that's where the Silicon Valley started. So when Stanford calls me, I don't even apply. They said, come on in, start a new area of research. How many people get that chance? I packed my stuff and went.
Shanam, average student or below average before 7th, Telugu toppers, rank, या पडता आमकां चेक पंता रोमांचना म्हणटा पळय त्या जाता शणमम तुमकां ते एक पण म्हाका शिकून पळयताना आफ्टर सो मेनी इयर्स ऑर नाव ते कशें पॉसिबल जालें म्हण दिसता शणमम.
Well, that's only possible because, like I said, a drive. You know, you have to have a drive in life. Now, you can have a goal saying that I want to be the richest person in the world, but you can become the richest person in the world many ways. You can rob a bank, or you can get a lottery, or you can do something great and start a company, a product, and make billions of dollars. But to become rich, you have many avenues. But then there is a right avenue, there is a wrong avenue. Same thing in my case, I was not interested in money. I knew that if I did good work, I would get enough money to have a good life. That's all I cared. But my goal was to invent something great, make a major impact in science and technology. And that is what really made me not deviate from what I intended to be. Yes.
सो तुमी तितले अमेरिकान तूं नाविंगडीन कंट्रीन अचिवमेंट करतरी तुमी तुमगेले ग्रास नातले रूट विसरनीची मुलां म्हणटा पळय कटपाडी म्हणचे सो थंय लागून तितले अचिवमेंट जावन कटपाडीक येताना कसं दिसताशिल्लें ताय नेला ना मदरलँड म्हणटाची कसं दिसताशिल्लें फर्स्ट टायम.
Well, I left India in 1979 to go to United States. But since then I have been coming to India at least once a year. And I have kept in touch with my family. I have a very large extended family. Dr Shenoy family is very large. We are mostly in Katapadi, neighboring areas, and Padubidri, all the way to Cochin. And we originally emigrated from Sunkeri, which is a small village near Karwar, and 250 years ago. But today we are so many. And so, but I kept in touch with many of the family members and my immediate family. So I've been coming to India every year. But not just coming to India, but I have done a lot for India. As a whole, I've started a lot of new areas for India. I've worked with all the IITs. I go to IITs every year I come. I go to Indian Institute of Science. I meet with all the government people. I go to all the labs. So I've done a lot of work, not for again money. It is the love for the country, and I wanted India to be a technology superpower. From outside I tried everything I could, but I can't say that I'm successful. Semiconductor technology I tried for 45 years for India to get into, but I could not really make that happen in India. It's a failure from my part and a lot of others. I'm not the only one. But today, it is the hottest thing India is looking after. India wants semiconductor chips because it is going to be very difficult. But we don't have the expertise or the base in India to do it. So it's unfortunate, but I tried for 45 years. My love for the country, my village, my people, country, is very deep, and I have not forgotten my roots. I have not forgotten my village. I know the situation, so I'm here trying to see what I can do to help poor children like me. I used to be a poor child, and see if they can come up in life.
Correct. ताका तुम्ही एक नवेची एंडोमेंट ओपन केला तुमगेला अन्नाला आनी अम्माला नावारी. सो लास्ट इयर तुम्ही MGM अंतू मस्त नाक हेल्प केलास. ह्या वर्सा तुम्ही सुमार जाणां कटपाडीन हेल्प केलास. सो हें एक कोरक काम म्हूण तुमकां दीस काम म्हणल्यार म्हळ्यार तुमी फॉरेन आवात तुमी कमी कामान तूं बिजी आसताची तुमी मस्त विसरताची तांणी खंय लेगून आयिल्ले म्हूण तांणी विसरताची जाल्यार तुमकां आनीक ते एक नमन्याचे सेळेता म्हणटा पळय म्हळ्यार कसलेपणी कोरका गांवांक येवन हेल्प कोरका पापाचे हेल्प कोरका GSP लोकांक हेल्प कोरका चेडूवांक हेल्प कोरका म्हण दिसलें पळय तें केन्ना दिसलें शेणो मामान केन्ना तें तुमगेलें तें मन सुरू जालें
ते actually although I had that desire but I think the push really came from my sister, oldest sister, who is currently not doing well in terms of health, and she is besides my mother, she raised me right from my childhood. She's older than me. She's now about 82 or so. I am only 67. So she really raised me, so to say. I followed her when she got married, actually with her to her husband's house, and she has always told me that you have to give back to your people and you cannot forget your roots. So she is a constant inspiration for me. And although I have that burning desire, but she has much more desire, and I wanted to make sure that I launch this fund just before she passes away. So this is partly in honor of her.
आणि हांव आयकल्या प्रकार तुमी ल्हान आसतना RSS काही वत्ता आशिल्ले शाखेक म्हूण आयकलेलें आसता शेणो आनी आत्ता तुमी स्टील काशी मठा वट्टू एक म्हळ्यार थंय लागून तुमी ताजे ಮೂಲಕ हेल्प करूंक तुमी प्रयत्न केलेलो आसा ह्या पंथय काशीमठ संस्थानाचे चॅरिटेबल इन्स्टिट्यूशन फंड्स लागून सो कशें तुमकां ह्या पुराय एक नमने देव धर्म राष्ट्रीयते म्हणजे नॅशनॅलिटी ह्या बरें तुमी सोणी म्हळ्यार स्टील तुमी फॉरेनांत इतले वर्स आसल्यार तुमकां ह्या पुराय एक मनान तूं आशिल्लें म्हूण कशें जाता शेणो
Well, I am an Indian at heart. My heart will never change. And yes, I was in my Sanasthana Pura हांव RSS कार्यकर्ता आशिल्लो शाखा वता आशिल्लो 5 गंटले येवन विजल करता आशिल्लीं पुरा घरल्या लागीं आमी उठान पुरा सूर्य नमस्कार हें तें पुरा करता आशिल्लीं that sort of brought in some discipline in not just in me, lot of other children, and it also made lot of us friends. So that was the, I think, discipline and friendship is what I could get from RSS, being a karyakarta in RSS. And the love for the country, I think it comes from your childhood, you know. I mean, I think you have to have it. So I can say that RSS is not the reason I love my country. I love my country, and then I sort of participated as a karyakarta in RSS. Yeah.
अनेक शेणो तुमी एक लायक काम करता सच म्हळ्यार टिचर्सां नांवार एक अवॉर्ड दिवची की ना तुमकां ल्हान आसतना शिकयल्यार टिचर्सांक एक उडगास करची की मागीर मागीर म्हूण पूण आमी शिकयतना आमकां ते मागीर मस्त वर्स विसरता तांगेले उडगास आसना जाल्यार केन्ना रान तेका लायक काम केल्लें आसा गुरू नमना म्हण तांणी केल्लें आसाची ओट्टू जावन सो तुमकां टिचर्स म्हणटाना तुमगेले मनान ते फस्ट थॉट कसो जालें तुमकां शिकयलेलें
Well, again, I was very, very fortunate. I am a professor myself. I'm a retired professor. I've taught in universities for 25 years. When I was growing up, it was not easy to be a school teacher. I'm talking about grade 1 through grade 10, especially NPUC. Actually, grade 1 through earlier grades is very difficult because not many children wanted to go to school. And luckily in my own family, Sunkeri Karshanai family, there were outstanding teachers. Mathematics, English, Sanskrit, physics, chemistry. We had outstanding teachers right from grade 1 all the way to grade 10 in Katapadi. A lot of them were from my own family. And they were so dedicated and outstanding. I've never seen anybody like that. I mean, you cannot find teachers like that today. And that really inspired me. And some of them every day used to come to my house and used to tell me, you have to study this, you have to do this, you have to do that, you have to become somebody. So that was constantly ringing in my head. And I don't know if there are teachers like that today, but I was so fortunate to have teachers like that from my own family.
Correct.
So, to honor them, I have named all the performance awards that I am giving to outstanding students who achieve academic excellence. I have named all these awards in the name of my teachers, mentors, from my own family. Most of them are my own family.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮಕ್ಕೆ ಅಕೇರಿ ಉಜ್ಜಲರಿ ಎಂಡ್ ಆಕೆ ಉಜ್ಜಲರಿ ಈ ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮ ಮಸ್ತ್ ಯೂತ್ ಪೊಳೆತಸ ಮುಂಜಲರಿ ತಂಕ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಕೃಷ್ಣ ಶೆಣೈ ಆಸ್ ಅ ರೋಲ್ ಮಾಡೆಲ್ ಮುನ್ನ ದಿಸ್ತಸ್ ಮುಂಜಲರಿ ತನ್ನ ಕಸ ಕೊರ್ಕ ತನ್ಗಿಲ ತನ್ನ ಕಂಚಿ ಏಮ್ ದವರ್ಕ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಕಸ ಮುಂಡವರ್ಕ ಮಳರಿ ತುಮ್ಮಿ ಮಳ್ಳೆ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಎಕ್ಕಚ್ಚಿ ಮಳರಿ ವಿಂಗಡ ಕಂಚಿ ತಕ ಯಾ ನಾಮಣ್ಣು ಪರ್ಯಾಯ ನಾಮಣ್ಣು ಸೊ ತುಮ್ಗಿಲ್ ಮೆಸೇಜ್ ಕಸ ಚೆಂಡು ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಫಾರ್ ಯೂತ್.
Well, I give this lecture all around the world. I tell this exactly the same thing to university professors, university students who are doing PhD, studying for PhD degree. When I start a lecture, I tell them this exactly what I'm saying to you right now. There are 3 phases in life, one's life, doesn't matter who it is. Each phase is 30 years in duration. So 30 times 3, 90 years. So what that means is average lifespan in the United States today is about 85 years. So if you say 90 years, most of the people would have gone below 90 years. Okay. So I say that in everybody's life there are 3 phases. Each is 30 years. So here is what you have to do. Doesn't matter what you want to do in life. You want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, you want to be a lawyer, you want to be a businessman, or you want to be making pizza or hotel business. Doesn't matter what you want to do. But first phase, 30 years, you make sure that you get your required qualification. What does it mean, qualification? Education. So if you want to go into business, you need some kind of a business education oriented. Some people are naturally business minded, but there's a different kind of business. Okay, I'm talking about big businesses. You need to be an executive in a big company. You need some kind of business background. If you want to be an engineer, you need to focus on science. If you want to be a doctor, again you need to focus on science, but you have to be good in mathematics. So whatever it is, you need to
foundation.
You need to lay the foundation for your career. In terms of education, education is the founding stone of prosperity, and this is how you can change the world. So you decide what you want to be. When you should not listen to everybody because he tells me I should be that. No, don't do that. You decide yourself. I'm just telling you my own life story. I decided I want to change the world by revolutionizing the emerging computer technology area. So I decided I want to do this. It's me. Nobody told me what to do. And then I got the required education, best places I could. Okay? So that's what you do in the first phase. And also you lay the foundation for your life. What that means? A family. So you have to find the right partner in life. Who you want to marry. How you want to raise your family. All these things comes in the first phase. If you miss that in the first phase, you're going to have a difficult time in the second phase and onwards. Because in the second phase, your focus should be really raising the family. That's number 1. Everybody, family is important. Number 2, making important contribution, professional contribution, whatever that is. Maybe as a doctor, maybe as a scientist, maybe as an engineer, maybe as a lawyer, whatever it is, you got to do the major contribution to your professional career. And when you do the major contributions, you will naturally become financially sufficient. You may not be the richest guy, but you won't be the poorest guy either. You will have enough money that will come your way. And you have to make sure in phase 2, that is for 30 to 60 years, you have built your assets. enough that you will have a good retired life, which is the last phase, 60 to 90. Okay, this is the phase I am in right now. So what do you then, you ask me, what do you do in the retirement, that the third phase? This is what I am doing right now. I am telling you, my focus is right now giving back to the community and to the society. I mean, you can give back in many ways. Some give back financially, some give back in terms of service, do whatever. There are many ways to give back to your community and your society. And then you can also, I am for example planning to write a lot of books, very unique books. I am writing many technical books, but that's just the professional books. But there's to give back to the community, I am thinking of writing a lot of other books, other types of books. I am doing a lot of research for that. Okay, related to, I'm really focused on GSB. I want to go deep into GSB heritage, where it came from, how, and I truly believe that GSB gene is very unique, and GSB gene can do anything it wants. And I'm really proud to be a GSB, and GSB people can do anything they want as long as they put their mind.
Correct.
And you have to have that drive. So I'm trying to show this to the world, I mean to my community, which is GSB worldwide, that this third phase, and I'm doing a lot of scientific research to show this. I'm not just going to say this, that. I've gone as back as 70,000 years based on genetic research. So I'm digging deep. All religions, every single religion, every single civilization, every single race, genetics, and to find out why the GSP race, at least to my belief, is so unique and so powerful and is capable of achieving anything you want.
शणमॅम तुमगेलो कळालें एक एक निमिष मस्त इम्पॉर्टंट मस्त शिकू आसा आनी कशें म्हळ्यार तुमी इतले अचीव कोण जात तरी स्टील तुमगे भितर एक बूक आसा कसलेपणी कोरका कसलेपणी आनीक एक दिवस हांव लायक करून युटिलायज करका म्हणटा त्या मस्तानाक एक पण अचिवमेंट कोण जात तरी पुरो म्हण दिसता बट तुमगेल मनान तूं ना तुमगेले सगळे कॅरियर पळयतना आनीक कसलेपणी करता समाज कसलेपणी करता म्हण दिसता असं त्या ग्रेट थँक्स फॉर दॅट आनी तुमी आमगेले समाजा करता आसले एक सेवा आनी तुमगेले जीवन देवाला आशिर्वाद स्वाम्याला अनुग्रहान खंयचे रितीरी सुखप्रदाय असो ऑल द बेस्ट आनी थँक यू फॉर कमिंग हियर.
थँक यू व्हेरी मच फॉर हॅविंग मी. थँक यू.
ओके, नमस्कार. तुमी इतले वेळ पळयले डॉक्टर कृष्ण शेणे मॅम तांणी उलयलां तुमी आमगेले युट्यूबान तूं आमगेले फेसबुकान आसता यूथ ऑफ GSPन तूं एक पंत पळयतना तुमकां आपास पळोवका म्हण दिसता कसलें म्हळ्यार तांचे एक एक शब्दान तुवें मस्त अर्थ आसा तांगेले सान लागून तांगेले अचिवमेंटाचे लेवल ताय तांणी प्रत्येक तुमकां साना रितीरी म्हळ्यार अर्थ जावत रितीरी सांगलें आसा तें पळोवया. ताज निमित्त थोडेच आमकां इन्स्पिरेशन मेळ्ळो आमी थोडेपणी तांकां कसलेपणी घेवन एक साधन करूं जाल्यार त्या एपिसोडाचे एक लायक आमकां फ्रुटफूल म्हणत ना एक फलप्रद म्हणत त्या जावं म्हण सांगताची मुखारचे आनीक स्टाराल वाटतो अपास मेळ्या तुमगेली यूथ ऑफ GSP वर्ल्ड वायड पळयत रावची. नमस्कार सगळ्यांक देव बरें करूं.